Hey, Strong Girls. I'm Molly Herford, sports journalist, ultra runner, cyclist, and author, and founder of Strong Girl Publishing.
And I'm Dr. Sasha Gollish, executive director of Yellow Running Shoes, a researcher, engineer, elite runner, and your BFF who's breaking down the science of smashing barriers in women's sports.
Think of us as the intersection of science and culture for women and girls in sport. Each week, we'll dissect the latest headlines and cutting-edge research on female athletes.
Debunk myths about girls in sport. Talk about how hormones affect performance at every age, to the latest research in sports science around mental performance, nutrition, equipment, and so much more.
And we'll spotlight badass girls and women who are rewriting the rules of the game, sometimes literally.
Expect it to be nerdy.
And occasionally TMI.
But it will always be honest.
Whether you're a strong girl yourself or you're raising one, this show is for you. Welcome to Strong Girl Talk,
where sports science meets sisterhood.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Strong Girl Talk. I'm Molly Herford. If you've forgotten who we are, I am joined by the one, the only Dr. Sasha Gollish, who is giving me a red flag penalty right now. Sasha, how are you? Happy New Year.
I need another color flag so that, because I was like, here's our demarcation of like, let's do this, but it's a red
flag. Yeah, very confusing for a sport podcast. I'm like, am I getting a penalty here? What's happening?
Red card, out of the game.
Yeah. We can't blow a whistle though, because I think most of our listeners would hear that and just get like triggered with race nerves. I know anytime I hear Thunderstruck by AC/DC or any kind of countdown, my heart rate just skyrockets.
Also, like if we blew a whistle, our dogs would go ballistic in the background. Let's be real.
Also that, yeah, it would take a minute to get back to calm, relaxed. We're back. New year, same us. Everyone who's rejoining us for the new year, thank you. We're so excited to have you back. Sasha, before we went on break, we talked about the holidays and how they can be an amazing time, how they can be a stressful time, how they can, be different things to different people. How were your holidays?
They were fabulous. I'm Jewish, so like we technically don't have a Christmas tree, but we always have a Christmas tree. But we celebrated the holidays in a mountain town this year, which was really cool. And so on Christmas Day, we went skiing as a family, which with my niece and nephew, like we've never done that before. And it was awesome.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, we had a quiet holiday. We did stuff with Peter's family. We came down to New Jersey to do stuff with my family. We're still down here. My husband is a saint, spending this much time with his in-laws, dinners every night, hangouts every day. He is the best.
He was the best before. Raw, you're the best too. But Peter, you've always been the best.
He really has. So we had a really nice low-key holiday. Actually took some time off work, although not as much as I always plan to take more time off than I actually do, if I'm being honest. And frankly, I work in the journalism world and deadlines crop up. And if you can't jump on articles, then you're not going to make it as a journalist. So I managed to get a couple features assigned at the last minute that were like research and interview intensive and due in the next week. So it meant a lot of calls during the holiday break, but still enough time to enjoy lots of very relaxed time watching cheesy Christmas movies, which is my way of enjoying the holiday season.
Oh my God, what's your like number one cheesy Christmas movie you watched this year?
The holiday is just a perennial favorite.
Yeah, I watched Love Actually again this year and just like bawled my eyes out.
Oh, like for how problematic it is still just, it tugs the heartstrings,
Mm-hmm.
I'll never be mad at it.
Oh, I can be mad at it. Well, you can hold both things at the same time. I was gonna say, you were very patient with me as I was like, I actually took 2 full weeks off. Like Monday was Monday was a challenge. Monday was a real challenge for me.
I was so proud of you. Like, oh my gosh. When I embarrassingly texted you like December 30th to be like, Sasha, I need you to respond to this thing. Because it was end of year and, profit and loss statements, all that fun stuff. But when you said you'd been off email, I was just like, oh my God, I'm so happy for you. Like that is so wonderful. I also took time off of email. I want to be clear. I just couldn't take full time off of like writing stuff because stuff needed to get done. But that's we always say like we've chosen lines of work that allow us huge amounts of flexibility in our day to day normally.
Yeah.
And with that comes the fact that you don't get paid vacation days. So you are responsible for, you know, if you want to get paid, you got to do some work. So we had to do some work, and that's how it goes.
I mean, okay, let me be so actually, so my family went home on the 27th, which was my birthday. Actually, hilariously, my siblings were like, "What do you want for your birthday?" And I was like, "Ah, I just want you all to go home." And they were like, "That's so mean." I'm like, "I only said it because you're actually leaving." But then on the second week, I was like, "Oh, I'll probably like dip back into some work and like actually get stuff done." But then we went up north, and my neighbors, like up at the cottage who live in the UK, were there, and we had dinners with them every night, Molly. Like it was so much. Like I was like, and we like even they were like, "We've done nothing," but like we played like kids. Like it was so snowy and fun. Anyways, I was a kid again for a couple weeks, but now I'm an adult again. Oof, adulting.
Uh, yeah, yay to the kid stuff, boo to the adulting. Um, and okay, before we get into our actual topic of discussion, which is our words of the year and the concept of the word of the year, quick Strong Girl Publishing updates. Vanessa Kuhlbeck's book, The Mirror Diaries Finding Grace, it's book one in the series, comes out on Tuesday. Alongside of it is the Beyond the Mirror workbook. You can pre order them wherever books are sold or just at stronggirlpublishing.com. If you have a young woman, middle grade girl in your life and know that she needs just a little extra dose of self-compassion, confidence. She's trying to figure out who she is, figure out really life. These are probably the least sporty books we've done, but I think among the most important because I think no matter who you are, this like series is going to be incredibly helpful. There are exercises built into the book, built into the workbook, and I'm just really excited to see where it goes.
Awesome. So I mean, it comes out a couple days after this episode. So, yeah, it's so exciting.
So exciting. And of course, your journal, Unstoppable, is out now, as is Stevie Lynn Smith's Power Up. So if anyone is listening and in their winter arc or is feeling a little resolution-y or just wants to start the season on a good note, these are two invaluable resources. And that leads us to the fact that you are heading out tomorrow to the Empower Her Sports Summit. So talk about what that is, what you're doing there, all the things.
Sure. So actually, I don't remember. So I was introduced to the Empower Her Sports Summit by Erica Wiebe and Morgan Rogers, both of whom have spoken there before. It's a day. It's kind of like the OG Fast and Female events, if you remember those. Kind of like 15 to 20, girls who are in high performance sport coming together, talking about like self compassion as one of the things, but like, how do we move our bodies? How do we have confidence? How do we have focus? How do we have resilience? And so, Reed Brody is the founder of this event. Reed's a volleyball coach. She lives out in Calgary, so I'm getting on a plane to go to Calgary. And I'm going to be talking all about Unstoppable. But before we started recording, I said I read Brene Brown's most recent book, and I've been playing with these two ideas of like unstoppable, like feeling unstoppable, like what gives me confidence, what helps me be focused, how do I be resilient, but also this like notion of like I don't feel good enough, like I'm not good enough, but that you can hold these, it's a paradox, and you can hold these two things together at the same time, right? I was thinking about standing on the start line at the Pan Am Games when I won the bronze medal, like I felt unstoppable at that moment, but I also was like, oh my God, I might not be good enough to be here, right? But we don't normalize that, and it's like you have to have one or the other, but actually you can and should hold both of those things at the same time. So I'm excited to like play with this idea with other people in the room.
I really love that because I think, yeah, as women especially, we really don't allow ourselves to have that duality.
Yeah.
Whether we're talking about just straight up identity, we've talked about this on the podcast over and over again. When I was younger, I didn't feel like I could be an athlete because I was already a bookworm, a punk kid. Like those two identities didn't fit together. And same with you right now, right? The idea of being confident, but also feeling like, oh, maybe I'm not ready for this, or maybe I can't do this. We feel like we can't hold both of those things, but we absolutely can. And I don't think you can really get to
Right.
fully confident if or fully unstoppable if you don't acknowledge the
Right.
feeling of that nervousness, that sense that maybe you don't have it today, maybe you're not going to be enough. And maybe that's okay even.
To- that too. Like it's okay to like falter, make mistakes, all these things. Like, yeah, but you can still feel unstoppable even if a mistake happens.
Exactly. Speaking of unstoppable, I also forgot to mention you were just on the Athletics Ontario
Oh
podcast. We'll
yeah.
include a link to that in the show notes. And I run also put that in their newsletter along with some info about the book, which was very exciting to see in my inbox because I just happened to subscribe to the newsletter and did not expect to see it there. So I'm just scrolling my newsletter. I'm like,
Oh,
it's our book.
I'm not spoiling the pod. I really want you to listen to it so you can giggle because I talk about you a lot. The only thing I will spoil is John was like, "Yeah, with your company, Strong Girl Publishing." I was like, "I need to be very clear because I love this person dearly." I was like, I am the number one fan of Strong Girl Publishing, but I'm not an owner." Anyways, yeah, I'm so excited
Oh
for you
my
to listen to
gosh.
it.
I'm so excited to listen to it. Because I love you and I love John and the host of that podcast. That's just like two of my favorite, like most unstoppable people that I know, really. So
And like,
excited.
well, and we were, it was so fun to talk about like, the events that he's been at with his daughter, right? And then like, the book's a little bit young for her, but in time, but here's some of the questions that you can start asking her as a parent, right? Like it's a bit much for like a young kid to journal. But then like how do you help create those like reflective moments so that you can have those conversations and so that you can also ask those questions to your kid without judgment and come at them with curiosity?
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's a good point that I think our books are also fantastic, not just for the young women or the girls themselves, but for parents and coaches. They are fantastic resources because they give you these ideas for how to talk to your athletes, the language that makes sense to use with your athletes. I think that's like the strength of Power Up is we worked really hard to make sure that it was done in a voice that could be read by a 14-year-old or a 20-year-old that didn't feel like talking down to them, but also didn't feel like reading a textbook.
Right.
Your book, it's, same thing with Unstoppable, right? It's all of these principles that are research based and research backed and, rigorously scientifically vetted, but broken down into concepts that, yeah, you could chat with a 10-year-old about them. You could chat with a 25-year-old about them, and everyone can get something out of it.
Okay, I'm gonna poke a little fun at myself because I was like, I didn't write a book. I wrote a journal. I'm like, I just as a reminder, like, well, you can't sit down and read Unstoppable. Like, you have to actually do some work.
I think you could flip through it though and just like get a good
Oh,
sense of it for sure.
for sure. But you're not like sitting down with a cup of tea to like tuck into hours of reading.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. But I do think as a coach, honestly, I would love to see coaches using it and actually like even doing the journaling after practice and asking themselves those questions like through the coaching lens because I think that's going to give you a ton of insights as well. Even for parents, I could actually see a parent of a kid in sport even doing this, like based on what their kid is saying after practice and how they're responding and stuff. And then you actually have this, it's going to be slightly inaccurate because it's your lens, not your kid's lens. But I do think you'll be able to pick up if the kid's starting to struggle with something or is having a tough time if you're actually kind of using it to keep track a little bit.
I listened to a great podcast about like this is for coaches, but I was like, I mean, I'm not a parent, although maybe I need to record myself talking to the dog. Um, but like putting your phone in your pocket and just audio recording yourself as you coach, because we often have this like bias of like how we're actually talking to the athletes or talking to like kids. And it's like it's a really easy way. And you go home, you listen to it on the way home. Nobody else needs to know that you're doing this, right? Like you should tell kids that you're recording. Let me just be very clear. But nobody needs to know that you're going home and the conversations that you're having with yourself about the coaching that you're doing. And I was like, what a brilliant idea.
Ooh, I love that. I love that. Okay, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of today's podcast, if you will. The word of 2026. I'm so excited you decided we should do this because this is an exercise I've been doing I think since 2018 or so, this
No,
idea of a word of the year and just the one word that you're going to kind of use. And it's not a resolution, it's not a
no,
goal. It's
no.
much more of like just this overarching feeling, sense that just kind of pulls together everywhere you want to be this year, which is actually kind of intimidating as I just phrased it like that. It is not meant to be intimidating. Um, but I think it can feel like that though if you're not someone who's super goal oriented or doesn't spend much time journaling or doing much self reflection. So this can honestly be like a great new self reflection technique.
Okay, I don't actually want to know what your word is this year. What was your 2018 word?
Oh gosh, collected. Oh, it might have actually been 2017 even. So
No.
back when I was when I was managing a cyclocross team,
Yeah,
um, you have so many inputs coming at you. I'm managing seven different people's flights and gear and the minutia of housing and grocery shopping and all of these different
yeah,
things. And plus like the race schedule and cyclocross is very everything's happening very quickly. And if you miss being at the start line or miss being at packet pickup or miss the like all of these things, so much needs to go together to make
yeah.
a good cyclocross race happen, especially at a really high level. And I was working for Jeremy Powers at the time, and his wife Emily is one of the most organized but calm humans I've ever met in my entire life. Where I think no matter what she's asked to do, and like being married to a top level cyclocross
Yeah.
racer
You're
is a
asked to do
wild
some
ride.
weird things. Yeah.
Weird things. She never was ruffled. She always just had whatever needed to be had. She always had the answer. And the word collected kind of clicked into my brain when I was like, I want to be that energy, not just organized, but just so
Yeah.
calm about it. So that was my 2017 first ever word of the year.
So you haven't like I was actually picturing that you had this like arc of like having collected the words.
Oh, no, just
Okay.
it was being collected. Like
You didn't
calm,
collect
cool,
your
and
words
collect.
along the
No,
way.
just like calm, cool, and collected.
Yeah.
And then since then, I've had community, I've had strong, I've had intentional. For some reason, everyone seemed to set intentional as their word back in 2023, and I admit,
Oh God,
apparently,
yeah.
I'm just a basic B, and did that.
Yeah.
But
Fair.
then last year I changed it to strong, and I had originally wanted my 2023 word to be strong, but then everyone kept talking about intentional, and I was like, "Ooh, that sounds good," and it didn't feel right. It didn't really sit right all year. I was like, I should have stuck with strong, so that was my last one.
Okay. No, that's
Yeah.
2024. What was 2025? It's now 2026, by the way.
Oh, okay. So sorry, it was like 2024 was intentional,
Okay.
2025 strong. The problem is I'm setting them like
Right.
in the year prior. Um, because I don't set them on the first. I usually think about it kind of through like end of December. What about you? Is this your first time thinking words or
It's my first time thinking words. Yeah, but it's interesting. Like so I yes, unstoppable is like for sure. And maybe that was the arc of my career, right? Like I want to be unstoppable. But my word's courage. Yeah.
oh, say more.
So the courage to be calm, the courage to be excited, the courage to ask questions, the courage to ask the question you don't want to ask because it's going to make it really uncomfortable. Um, you know, it's definitely a Brene Brown word, but it's always been the first value that I've ever written down in values exercises. Also, I'm about to make fun of values in a second, just about,
Love this, excited.
but the courage to like lean into the next phase. And I was like, okay, like I need to be courageous this year. And it's not big courage all the time. Sometimes it's just like baby courage of like, okay, I'm going to like have the courage to like get up and take a break from my desk. I'm going to have the courage to go for the 5 minute walk around the block. Although not today because it is so icy in Toronto that I'm not going outside. I'm actually not leaving my house. I was like, no. Okay. We had a very funny conversation about values over the holidays. Integrity should be nobody's value. Do you want to know why?
Oh,
Because
say
you
more.
should just have integrity. You shouldn't have to be like, My company starts with integrity. No, 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 no. You're just a human. Integrity is the foundation. Like, it's not a value, right? Like, we shouldn't be striving. Values are things you're striving for. You shouldn't be striving for integrity. You should just act with integrity.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to do so much work on the levels because you are so excited right now. But I completely agree. Integrity should be the default. Like
Right.
that, yeah, it really, it's funny. I was actually listening to a podcast today that wasn't saying that exact thing, but they were saying they hate integrity as a value because often it's a very hollow value.
Totally.
Like,
Absolutely. Wholeheartedly.
it's like you say, like you should be doing that anyway. That should be your baseline standard.
Yeah.
Going below that is a
Not okay.
problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also don't really, how do I put this without sounding mean about integrity? It's to me, it's a binary. You either have integrity or you don't.
Yeah. It's not a
And like,
dimmer
yes,
switch.
yeah, like there's no like, oh, I have more integrity than this person who also has integrity. Like maybe you just don't do as large acts as the person who you think has more integrity, but as long as you're acting in a actually integrity can't be a value because integrity just means that you're acting within your values.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's actually a little too meta to say that integrity is your value because if you have integrity, that just means you're acting in line with your values. So if your value is integrity, then it doesn't really count as anything. Oh, geez.
Spiral. We've spiraled.
You're just snake eating its tail. So I agree. I like that. I like courage for you. I think that is a great one. I think unstoppable is kind of a good like sub part of that or like corollary to that. I did laugh. I did a post the other day where I was realizing that most of our books are really named after different mantras and words of the year that you could use. We have unstoppable, we have power up, we have sprint through setbacks. Even Shred Girls. I was saying when I first put the books out, the editorial director at first is a mentor of mine, Bill Strickland, and I had given him a Shred Girl shirt, and he said he was afraid to wear it out because he felt like it was too much of an edict, like shred, comma, girls, which is hilarious. So even Shred Girls could be a call to action. Shred Girls.
Finding grace.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I think I've accidentally just snuck mantras and words into all of our titles just subconsciously. This is I want girls to take over the world, which actually for Strong Girl Publishing, our mantra for the year is not one word, it's a three words, four words, forwards. So we're going with Girls to the Front, which is a Kathleen Hanna quote. She was the woman who started Bikini Kill. She was very into the like Riot Girl. She started the Riot Girl movement back in the 90s, into zines.
Most of you
Her
weren't born. It's
most,
fine.
it's fine. She has a fabulous memoir, and basically, Girls to the Front was something that women bands back then, and even some male hardcore bands started saying at shows. They'd be yelling "Girls to the Front" because they wanted girls to stop standing in the back of the audience. They wanted women to come up to the stage, be part of the mosh pit, be really in the room, not just stuck along the walls. And I love being at races that are run by women who are of an age where they recall that era and have like a little bit of that punk rock ethos because a number of them will get on the mic and be like, all right, girls to the front. I love it. So that's our mantra for this year is to be just unapologetically girls to the front of events, of books, of online presence, of everything. So I'm psyched for that. Um, and then I was thinking about it
Do you have
though.
a personal word?
Well, yeah, because originally I was just going to lean into girls to the front. But then I was like, you know what? I don't want that to be the only thing I'm defining my year with because it doesn't really, I mean, I guess it kind of speaks to my racing in the like go to the front, but frankly, I do that anyway. Like,
It's
I'm not
true.
gonna lie.
No.
I'm
Here
an
I am.
elbows out, like I will be at the front because I've been in too many mass start races where too many dudes who cannot go fast bully their way to the front and burn out after 30 seconds and mess up my race. So
Yeah, get out of my
Pretty
way.
big on, yeah, pretty big on already being at the front. So that's not really an issue for me. So then I was thinking through all these other kind of hustly, grindy words. And then I was like, you know what I want to do in 2026? Fun. Fun is my 2026 word. And not to say that I'm going to do less work or train
No.
less hard or, do less racing or anything like that. It just means that I'm going to try so hard to make sure that I am injecting fun into all of those things. I thought about joy for a minute, but then I was like, joy feels too mature for what I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and like fun gets a bad reputation, right? Because often people just think about silly fun. You and I have a ton of silly fun. You can't have silly joy, but we have a ton of silly fun. But fun can also be serious, which like edges more onto like joy. But like I love an element of silliness. I mean, it's
Exactly.
an element
I
of
did I did struggle with it for a second. Though I was like fun, and then I was running and I'm like wearing my normal all black, and I was like, wait, can I say fun and still be gothy? And then I was like, hell yes, I
yes.
can be. So
I'm not
leaning
asking you to
into
put a pink smiley face on it. I'm just asking you to show up as you are.
exactly. So yes, fun is definitely my word for 2026. I'm very excited.
Okay, hold on. Just had a like thought about that. Is
Mm.
you actually just dismissed that and like almost belittled that like because you wear black that's not fun and I was like, "Wait. But for the kid or anyone who wants like you to show up, that's fun for them." And so kind of like food, don't yuck my yum, don't yuck my fun.
Ooh, that's yeah, fantastic. Very well said. Yeah, I will be maintaining my goth aesthetic. Actually, so as a family, we've been watching Wednesday on
Oh my gosh.
Netflix over the
Love,
holidays.
love, 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 love. Yeah,
Clearly, you and I have a bit of a Wednesday Enid situation going on with our
it's true.
general aesthetic and demeanor.
I am a bit of a werewolf. You're right. Yeah. Definitely the long nails come out. I can yeah, okay, next. Put me in a cage. Okay.
But I like to think Wednesday is having fun in her own little weird gothy
Oh, I
way.
don't think.
So
I know.
that's the energy I want to bring to
Yeah, yeah.
this year. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. That actually, it really did help me think about because I still haven't figured out my racing plan, like not just my racing calendar, just what I want to do in general.
I want you to
And
run a 1500 on the track this summer, just for fun.
ugh, absolutely
Mm-hmm.
not.
Mm-hmm.
We're coming back to cyclocross, that's for sure. And you know what? That is fun. That is going to be so fun.
How much cyclocross have you watched this holiday season?
Actually, medium, I'm going to say. I don't want to say a lot, but we have been watching a fair bit because that's another thing that the whole family can actually do together.
We
Um,
got my parents into it last year. I'm a little bit frustrated with flow bikes, only because, like, why have there been races with no commentary?
oh, that is really annoying.
Yeah,
Flow bikes, call us. We can do it.
for sure Molly can. I don't know that I can, but I'm happy to be in the background having fun with her.
I think you can be a good co-commentator for me with cyclocross. I think we would crush it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Anyways, I
flow
do
bikes,
enjoy
call
watching
us.
cyclocross. And what it's actually like as a runner, like I love watching them run up the stairs. So anyways, you
Oh
know what
yeah.
cyclocross is? Like it's actually a really easy way to get into watching cycling. It's like really fun. It's a circuit race in Belgium. We also need to, I want to go one year. I want one of the pom pom hats. I definitely love Belgian beer and like who doesn't like French fries with mayo? But like I love watching them run up the stairs and it's really cool to actually like hear how much they train running with the bike to like
Hmm.
get good form.
Oh yeah. No, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and the women's field has been super interesting this year. I do have to say, I'm getting a little bored of Lucinda Brand just winning races,
Lucy.
but I mean, I'm not mad about it. She
I mean,
is
Puck won the other day.
true. We're
So
getting
did Celine Carmen Alvarado.
true. Okay, so we're starting to see a
Yeah, it's
shift,
true.
but
Lucinda Brand
definitely,
dominated early season. Oh yeah.
yeah. Which is always hard, when that happens. It definitely, I would say men's cycling had this issue the last 2 years with Tadej Pogačar, like just crushing every race. It kind of takes some of the fun out of it when you have a rider that's just that much above everybody else. But I think now that we're, yeah, further into the season, we are seeing like, okay. Other riders are racing back into form. She's gonna maybe getting a little tired. So okay, we're switching it up. It's fine. Everything is great. Um,
Everything is awesome.
everything is awesome.
I can't remember the woman who won Worlds last year. She broke her wrist, I think, in the fall, which is why she hasn't been racing.
Oh yeah. Apologies to her because I also cannot
I'm
remember her
like, we're
name now
both
that you said
blanking
it.
on her name.
Yeah. Um, okay. Before we wrap this up, if someone is listening to this and is trying to figure out what the heck their word of the year is going to be, um, I do think it's a good idea to come back to your values. Please don't use integrity unless you have been really bad with integrity, I guess. Like you've just realized you're so out of integrity that you need to add it back in, then maybe fine, okay. Um,
Donald Trump? Sorry, what?
what? I think
Who? How much?
that ship has sailed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna take more than a year for that. Um,
This
are
is
we talking
also
about?
helpful. So I opened up Brene Brown's Atlas of the Heart. Have you read? No, you haven't read this. So it's a book of emotions. And it talks about like how they show up. Right. So if you think about Inside Out, right, there's like 5 emotions, 5 values, right, that we kind of live through. So it just gives you different words. And then have you heard of the app How We Feel?
Oh, I have not.
Oh my gosh, this has been game changing for me. I'm not good at doing it twice a day like you're supposed to, but when I'm having trouble naming emotions or naming like words or whatever, it is unbelievable, like the description of their emotions. So you can like go there and be like, oh, this is what I'm feeling. So those are 2 recommendations I have for finding words. Books are good
Love
too.
it. Love it. So yeah, I mean, you can think about values. You can think about how you want to feel, which sometimes is not necessarily the same as values, right? Like I would not say fun is necessarily like something I would put in the top 10 of my values
It might be my
necessarily.
number 1 value. Yeah. Okay.
But it is something that I want to be feeling more of. Something like we actually mentioned confidence, focus, resilience when you're talking about the Empower Her Summit. And I think confidence is a great one. Focus is a great one. If you're someone who's maybe really been struggling for the last couple of years to really hone in, whether it's on your sport or your work or your school or anything. Resilience, if you've been having a rough year and and you're struggling to bounce back after stuff, then maybe resilience is a good one. So really thinking about like how you want to end the year feeling. Yeah. Any other thoughts on how to pick a value? Or sorry, how
Think
to pick a
about
word?
think about what you want in your life and maybe what that gap is, right? Like that's why I picked courage. I'm like, I'm missing, like, there's a little bit of gap in courage for me right now. We'll share more about that another day on the podcast. But, like, I want to have more courage in the way that I show up in the world.
I love it. And I want to have more fun in the way I show up in the world.
There we go.
We've got this. All right, everyone. Before, as always, subscribe, rate, review, etc. But also let us know what your 2026 word of the year is and why you picked it. We would love to hear from you. And of course, let us know if there's anything you want us to talk more about. If you want to have a guest on, what you want to hear more of in 2026. And we will see you in a couple weeks with a very special episode with a very special guest. So stay tuned. All right. Talk to y'all soon. Thanks so much for tuning into the Strong Girl Talk podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, definitely head over to wherever you listen to podcasts and rate, review, and of course, subscribe so you never miss another episode. And head over to stronggirlpublishing.com to check out all of the books by Strong Girl Publishing's authors, including Molly Herford, Misha Powell, and so many more. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.